Hey everyone, welcome back. So I have a little bit of a different video planned for us today because a while ago I received this mushroom grow kit. The company says that you can grow your own mushrooms in about 10 days, and I thought it would be really fun to observe this process and try it with you guys here on the channel. So this mushroom grow kit grows white oyster mushrooms, although they have a couple different varieties. And then at the end, I think we can try and make something delicious with these mushrooms. Now, this process does take a while, about 10 days, so without further ado, let's get started. Hey guys, so I'm here at Walmart picking up another mushroom grow kit because I want to try to see if I can get a fresher one. And the company that makes them has a whole lot of different varieties. They have this tomato one, these like terrarium ones, but these are the mushroom ones. So they have a white oyster mushroom, a pink oyster mushroom, and then like a mini one. So this is the one I have at home, but it looks like there's a little bit of water damage here, and I don't really want to try the pink one right now. So I think I'm going to get this mini mushroom grow kit, and we'll see if we can grow that alongside of our other one, and we'll see how it turns out. So I'm going to take this and meet you guys back at home. Okay, so upon returning home, I opened up my large mushroom grow kit and discovered that the whole thing had basically rotted out and decomposed, so I ended up throwing that one away and just using the mini one. This was totally my fault because I sat on that mushroom grow kit for so long and I should have just grown it sooner, but at least we have the mini one now so we can still see this mushroom growing process. Inside the box came a little instruction manual on how to grow the mushrooms, as well as a little spray bottle to water the mushrooms, and finally, the big bag of mushroom spawn. So next the instructions said to cut out this front window on the box, and that's going to be where our mushrooms will grow from. Then I slid the spawn bag back into the box and cut an X in the front of the bag. This will allow us to water the mushrooms while maintaining the humidity inside the bag so they don't dry out. Next, the directions said to take a fork and lightly score the surface of the mushroom spawn. This will give new mushrooms a chance to start growing from underneath the layer of mycelium on the surface. So now I'm going to place the bag X side down in some water for around 6 to 10 hours so that the mushroom spawn inside can become completely hydrated. Alright guys, so this has been soaking for around 8 hours now. The first thing I noticed is that the water has changed color a little bit. It is definitely like kind of an amber color now. And I did notice that on the mycelium in the package there was a little bit of kind of darker marks on the top, but actually that seems to have gone away now, so I guess it just kind of went into the water, and now we're left with this nice white mycelium to grow our oyster mushrooms. So I'm going to take off the lid here. And then the package said that now it is time to dry off the bag and then put it back in the box that it came in so that we can start growing it on our windowsill. So I'm just going to take it out of here and then I'm going to put it on this plate here. Let's just dry off the bag here a little bit. But this looks well hydrated and like it will be ready to give us some good fungi here in a couple days. So now I just need to make sure to keep this nice and wet every morning to make sure it stays hydrated, and then we should start seeing some mushrooms here in a couple days. So then I placed the bag back in the box and set it by one of my windows. Each morning I would come by and spray under each flap so that the surface stayed hydrated. I was supposed to keep watering until I saw what was called pinning, which is when new mushrooms start to peek out from the mycelium. Looks like we're getting a little bit of what I think is called pinning, just these little white lumps right there. They're starting to come up, and I think we're gonna let this go for about another day or two, just to see if we can get a little bit more pinning, and then we're gonna stand this upright to try and get a little bit more growth. I think there's also some down here. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, right there. It's a little bit more, so I'm excited that this is actually growing, and then we'll see what we can get in here in a couple days. Okay guys, so today is day 5 of the mushroom growing, and I just wanted to give a quick update because as you can see, we have a lot of the pinning now starting. All of the mushrooms are a little bit larger than they were yesterday, and that's so exciting to see because it means that over the next couple of days they will continue to grow, and it says that they can double in size every day, and I think that that's what's happened from yesterday to today, so I'm excited to see how big these can get in the future. Now I think I will go ahead and let these keep pinning for about another day or so, and then I think I will flip this container upright to see if we can get them to grow kind of like on a wall setting or like how they would on a tree. All right, guys, I just wanted to do a little update. Tonight is the night of day 5, and as you can see here, the mushrooms have grown so much from just this morning when I watered them. All of these little bits down here, I can see that it's growing mostly along the cut that we made in the bag at first, so I guess that must have been the deepest. But look here, we can see that there's so many mushrooms that are growing, and they've grown so much from this morning. So I think tomorrow morning when I water it, I will flip it up on its side so that we can start getting it growing on its side. As you can see from last night, the mushrooms have grown quite a bit. It's really crazy to see how fast that they grow. There was just like a little bit of growth like right over here and then a little bit over here last night, and now you can see almost the whole surface is covered in mushrooms and they are continuing to grow. And so now I think we're at the point in it where I need to stop the watering and then flip this upright like this. And so now the mushrooms will begin to grow upwards like this. And so I'm so excited to see how big that they are going to get here in the next couple days, and then we can go ahead and harvest them and make something really delicious out of them. Here's a bit of a close-up of the mushrooms at this stage. As you can see, the caps of the mushrooms are sort of this purplish gray color and definitely don't look like fully developed oyster mushrooms yet, and the stalks are also starting to develop a bit more. I just thought it was interesting because we don't normally see oyster mushrooms during this stage of growth, and so I thought I would give everyone a better view before they start to develop into the typical oyster mushrooms that we recognize. Hey everyone, so I went to go check on my mushrooms this morning and look at them now. They really just like exploded. It says they double in size every day, and I think that's definitely true because these are kind of scaring me with how fast they're growing. I think it said that we should harvest them when the cap of it is around 2 inches wide. And so it looks like this one is about 1 inch right now, and I think this one is as well. So I think maybe in about another day or two, most of these will be around 2 inches, so then we can go ahead and harvest them. Look at these mushrooms, they have grown so much. And I was going to harvest them tomorrow, or I was planning on harvesting them tomorrow, but I actually think they're ready today because as we can see here, this big one right here is about 2 inches in diameter. And also I've noticed that the sides of the mushrooms here have kind of turned up a little bit and are starting to crack a little bit. So I'm worried that if they grow any more, they're going to get kind of like hard and leathery. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest these. I'm so excited. And then we can go ahead and make something really delicious with these mushrooms. Just one more look here at some of these mushrooms. So this is the big one right here. As you can see here, down in the divot in there, looks a little bit like fresher. But then when we get out here to the edges, it's starting to kind of get a little bit harder and more like waxy. So I want to go ahead and harvest these as soon as I can. You can see here it has some kind of gills looking down under here. They're really pretty to look at. So I'm really excited to harvest these up, and I did get like a pretty decent crop, I think. Like I bet this is like a whole handful here of mushrooms, so I'm really excited here to make something with them. So to harvest the mushrooms, I took a small paring knife and began cutting off the mushrooms as close to the base as I could. I started with the big ones to clear up more room for me to reach the other mushrooms, but there was actually a lot more than I thought because they were hidden from view by the larger mushrooms. So I just wanted to show off some of the mushrooms that I was able to gather. As you can see, we have a variety of different sizes. This was the biggest one, and I think this right here is about 2 inches. And we have a couple other big ones, and then I was able to get a couple of smaller sections, as you can see right here. But I'm really happy with some of these. Like this has such a beautiful top right here, and I love the gill structure on the bottom. Very fun to look at and everything. So I'm gonna give these a quick rinse and then we're gonna go ahead and get cooking. To best showcase the flavor of the mushrooms, I think I'm going to pan fry them with some butter and herbs to create some delicious mushroom chips. So first I'm going to give these mushrooms a quick rinse just to make sure they don't have any of the grow medium left on them, and then I'll place them on a paper towel to absorb any excess moisture. Then I will take some of the larger mushrooms and pull them apart so we can have more uniform pieces of mushroom. This step was really fun, by the way. Before I cooked them, I weighed my mushrooms just to see how much I was able to get, and I got a little over 6 ounces, which was more than I was expecting. So now to cook up these mushrooms. To cook them, start by placing a tablespoon of olive oil in a medium pan and heat to medium-high. Add the mushrooms to the pan and stir to coat them. Make sure to spread the mushrooms out in a single layer so they can get some nice caramelization on the surface.
Once the mushrooms started browning, I added around a tablespoon of butter, a couple crushed garlic cloves, and a couple sprigs of thyme to infuse some more flavor. I tilted the pan to the side and basted the mushrooms to help better distribute and infuse the herbs. I then continued to cook down the mushrooms until they were crispy and caramelized. Then just finish with a sprinkle of salt and pepper, and that's it. You've made some delicious mushroom chips. So let's take a look at that now, shall we? So today we grew our own oyster mushrooms and made some delicious mushroom chips. I've never tried anything like this before, so I was really interested in seeing how this process would unfold, and I could not have been happier with the results. Aside from watering twice a day, the mushrooms were relatively low maintenance and were so fun to watch grow. I also ended up with a decent yield of mushrooms, which, when accounting for the price of the grow kit, came out to around the same price per pound as just buying oyster mushrooms from my local grocery store. However, the fact that this grow kit can produce a second batch of mushrooms and we get to experience the growth ourselves makes it worth the price to me. I also really enjoyed the mushroom chips that we made. The savory flavor of the mushrooms was complemented well by the garlic and thyme, and the crispy texture was very fun to eat. Overall, I was really pleased with this experience, and so if you're interested in growing your own mushrooms, I would recommend giving this a try. With that being said, thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and consider sharing it with your friends. As always, I've included the recipe for today along with the website for the mushroom grow kits down in the description box below. And if you end up trying this process for yourself, let me know how it goes. Otherwise, stay tuned, and I'll see you next time with a new video. Bye!